Your stomach drops the second they say it. That split second, where your brain scrambles to process what they just said, and your body already knows it is bad. Your throat tightens, your face gets hot, and there is this sick, hollow feeling spreading through your chest, like someone just cracked open a door you thought was locked. That is not regular disrespect. That is the kind that leaves a stain, the kind that makes you replay the moment over and over at 3 a.m., wondering if you heard it right, if you're overreacting, if maybe you deserved it, but you didn't. There are 5 specific types of disrespect that you need to treat like a biohazard. Not because you're petty, not because you can't forgive, but because forgiving them is like handing someone a loaded weapon and asking them nicely not to use it again, because they will. Right now, you might be thinking of someone, a specific face, a specific moment. That tightness in your chest just came back, didn't it? That is your body keeping score, even when your mind wants to let it go. So here is the question that should make you uncomfortable. How many times have you already forgiven something you should have walked away from? But that is just the private execution. The public one is different. That is a whole different level of calculated cruelty. Picture this. You're at dinner with friends. Everyone's laughing, and the vibe is good. And then they say it, that little comment, the one that sounds like a joke, but lands like a slap. Oh, you know how they are with money. Or, yeah, they're still figuring out that whole career thing. Or, the classic, don't take it personally. They're just sensitive about everything. And suddenly, the table goes quiet for half a second. Just long enough for everyone to register what just happened. Just long enough for you to feel your face go hot. They didn't embarrass you by accident. They performed for an audience. They wanted witnesses, because humiliating you isn't about the joke. It is about establishing a hierarchy, making sure everyone knows they're above you, that they can say what they want, that your dignity is negotiable. And the worst part is, if you react, you're the problem. If you call it out, you're being dramatic. If you stay silent, you've just taught them a lesson. That your reputation is something they can trade for a laugh. You know what the worst part is? It is not even the moment they humiliate you in front of everyone. It is the week after, when you're sitting alone, and you realize they turned your vulnerability into their punchline. And now, every time that group gets together, you're the story. The safe target, the one they can roast without consequences, because you already proved you'll take it. And here is the thing nobody tells you. You didn't just forgive one joke. You auditioned for a role, the role of the person who doesn't matter enough to protect. They tested the water with that first public jab, and when you laughed it off, when you played cool, when you said it is fine, even though your chest felt tight, you handed them the script, and now it is your character, the one they wrote for you. But let's talk about the ones who really know how to gut you. The repeat offenders, the ones who have my bad on speed dial. You've heard it so many times, it is basically a catchphrase at this point. They snap at you, dismiss you, cut you down, and then when you finally say something, when you finally admit it hurt, they hit you with the greatest hits collection. You're too sensitive. I was just joking. Why do you always make everything a big deal? You've been in that conversation, haven't you? Where you try to explain how something made you feel, and they look at you like you just asked them to solve calculus. It wasn't that serious. You're overthinking it. I don't even remember saying that. And suddenly, you're not talking about what they did anymore. You're defending why you're allowed to feel hurt in the first place. That is not a misunderstanding. That is a strategy. And the wildest part is, they always act shocked when you finally walk away. Like they didn't spend months training you to accept less. Like they didn't build an entire dynamic on you, swallowing your self-respect, just to keep the peace. So here is the question that is probably sitting in your throat right now. How many times did you let it slide because you didn't want to be dramatic? This is emotional gaslighting in its purest form, and it is not accidental. It is a defense mechanism for people who refuse to be accountable. Because if they can convince you that your feelings are invalid, they never have to change their behavior. They never have to apologize. They never have to grow. Now let's talk about the convenience crew. These are the people who treat you like a vending machine. They only show up when they need something, a favor, money, emotional labor, validation. The second they get what they came for, they vanish. No follow-up, no, how are you doing? No reciprocity. Just silence until the next time they're hungry for something you can provide. And here is the manipulation. They make you feel special when they need you. They pour on the charm, the compliments, the you're the only one who gets me energy. Then, the second you're no longer useful, you're back to being invisible. That is not connection, that is extraction. They're not building with you. They're mining you for resources. Here is your protocol, not a suggestion, not therapy talk, a protocol. When someone only materializes when they need something, you're not looking at a friend. You're looking at a user with a contact list. They've categorized you under resources, not relationships. And the most vicious part is they'll perform closeness. They'll mimic intimacy. They'll say all the right words until the second you need reciprocity. Then, suddenly, they're in crisis mode, overwhelmed, dealing with something massive. Every single time you reach out, that is not coincidence. Cut them off mid-performance. No explanation required. No closure. Conversation. No. I just feel like we've grown apart speech. You don't owe a user an exit interview. You owe yourself protection. And protection means immediate disconnection, the moment you recognize the pattern. Watch what happens next. Watch how fast that deep bond evaporates when you stop being useful. It'll take approximately 72 hours before they move on to their next supply source. But here is the part that actually destroys people. Disrespect doesn't damage you because of what they did. It damages you because of what it exposes. It exposes their internal ranking system. It exposes how low you sit on their priority list. It exposes that your dignity is negotiable to them. And the moment you forgive that level of disrespect, you're not being compassionate. You're teaching them your boundaries are decorative. So here is your new operating system. If keeping this person costs you self-respect, you cannot afford them. Period. Not negotiable, not flexible, not, but we have history. History doesn't pay your emotional bills. Start choosing people who speak to you like you're irreplaceable. People who defend your name in rooms you'll never enter. People who correct you in private and celebrate you in public. People who maintain respect even when they're furious with you. Because respect isn't a bonus feature. It is the foundation. And anyone who can't provide it loses access permanently. Now tell me, what is the one type of disrespect you kept forgiving that you're finally ready to cut off?